Collegian Readers with Spencer Chase. I'm Marcus Traxler. It is March, and it is crazy outside because the wind is blowing at about 45 miles an hour.
Oh, at least.
Roughly.
At least.
So, welcome to South Dakota. Thankfully for the Jackrabbits, Thursday's game against Michigan will not be played outside.
Yes, it's in the balmy state of Michigan. So.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere warm. That's what we're here to talk about. At this stage, we had a chance to talk with the players on Sunday and get some of their initial reaction and thoughts about the matchup. What I guess did you take away from that?
Well, I guess the part that stood out for me was talking to all the players, the Braden Carlsons, the Jordan Dyksters, the Nate Walters. They all said that, yeah, I think this is a good matchup. I think we match up really well, and they'd go into, and their arguments would make sense. And then the last interview of the day, we talked to Coach Nagy, and he said, there's no such thing as a good matchup against the top 15 team in the country.
Right.
And this is a team that was number one at one point in the country.
Yeah.
And so I think what I took from the talking to the players is that this team does a lot of the same things that SDSU does. They're very fast-paced. They like to hit the three. They've got really good guards. But I think as of right now, I think the perception is that Michigan does what SDSU does on a bigger and better scale.
Yeah.
So I think for SDSU to pull off this upset, they're going to have to, A, catch Michigan on an off day, and B, be firing on absolutely all cylinders.
I would agree with that. I think I watched a video this morning from the Detroit Free Press. Their big takeaway was playing an NBA player, Nate Walters.
Yeah.
And to us in South Dakota, we're like, well, he's the special part. And, in the Big Ten, they play all kinds of NBA players.
Yeah.
But this is a real, I guess in playing the first round, they probably didn't get an easy matchup either. I did sense that this is more of a business trip than last year. Not that they didn't go to and try to win, and for crying out loud, they were up for the first 8 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
But I think this is more of okay, we've been there. We didn't win last year. Now that is a stated goal that okay, last year it was fine that we made it and played well. Now I think they really want to win. Like you said, you're playing a top 15 team in the country, somebody who's number one in late January. Easier said than done.
Yeah, and I think that was something that a lot of the players said, was that last year their goal was to get to the NCAA tournament. They accomplished that goal. That was all well and good, and from then on they were just kind of floating in this huge grand atmosphere that was maybe a little big for them at times.
Yeah. I think that's exactly right. I think it was big. I think for this team, because just about everybody was there, it won't be maybe the only player who will see it in a new light is Jake Biddle, because he's never been. I think I don't think that can be overstated. That's why experience comes up so often in who you're picking for the Final Four or whatever. Nobody's picking the Jacks to go to the Final Four, but I think it is interesting that does play into it. And a lot of times those upset candidates, ones we come to know, have been there a time or two before, and then on their second or third try, they beat somebody big.
Yeah, and I think you look at SDSU, they have all the qualities of that team that can be endeared to the public. I mean, they have that NBA persona, that the media darling that everyone can just relate to. They seem to have just kind of taken on the persona of the people of the region in general. A very humble, quiet group that just kind of quietly goes about their business. And also, they've got that adorable Jackrabbit that everyone seems to love. I think Andy Katz has repeatedly said how the Jackrabbit is his favorite mascot.
It is.
I know.
It's a little frightening. To
yeah.
be honest. We watching the selection show, we had Doug Gottlieb say that this is a team that'll push Michigan, maybe even beat them. I don't know if he said they beat them or not. Anyway, they're on the tip of the tongue of every, along with Nate Walters, who seems to be attached to their Jackrabbits' chances, rightfully so. I don't know how this is going to turn out. I think Michigan, who is an 11.5-point favorite, is certainly in good shape. They're 55 miles away from home in Ann Arbor, in Auburn Hills, where this game will be played, so they're going to have an advantage.
And something that Coach Nagy brought up that I think is pretty interesting, and I almost hope he's correct in this, he said he's expecting a decent amount of Michigan State fans there cheering for SDSU because they cannot bring themselves to cheer for Michigan.
Yeah.
And so while Michigan's definitely going to have home court advantage, I think SDSU is going to, first of all, going to bring a decent contingent from Brookings because it is a reasonable travel distance, much better than Albuquerque.
We're going to find that out.
Yeah.
We're going to find that out. Yeah, and just last year, we mentioned the early quick start that SDSU experienced against Baylor, and you sort of felt that effect. It was more of a neutral court, but everybody in the arena wants the upset outside of the Baylor fans.
Yeah.
So, if push comes to shove, SDSU will have some people cheering for them Thursday. at the Palace. Anything else you want to add before we before the next time we join you? We will be in Michigan.
Yeah.
And we'll get there. We're driving, so we're gonna check out Spencer's car driving skills. You spent some time in the on the tracks of Daytona. Is that right?
Yeah. I dabble. Okay. I've only been in like 3 major car accidents, and I've only totaled like 6 cars in those accidents.
Well, let's hope motor.
So I'm doing all right.
Yeah. We'll join you probably Wednesday. Will be the next time we join you after we get to see the Jacks in the belly of the beast in Michigan. So until then, and we'll see you next in Michigan. For Spencer, I'm Marcus. Thanks, everybody.